Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the DPS 7 Points podcast. I'm Warren Trent, here with Sergeant Kameron Lee.
Welcome to our second season. We have Brian Hirst with us today. And these first few episodes, we've been talking about our employee wellness program. We're going to dig into that a little bit more. We brought some other guests on. We have Brian here with us today, and he has a special guest as well. Maui is here.
Maui.
Brian, thank you for being on here. You know, one of our goals is to really get your face out there so people can start putting that to your name and knowing who you are. We're hoping that as they see you and get more comfortable with who you are, that hopefully they'll be willing to, come talk to you. And one of the things that we'll dive into is your specialty with Maui, but we want to get to know you, Brian. You have a history with the agency, prior experience in another unit with the agency. Yeah. But let's kind of start at the beginning, where you grew up, a little bit about your life, and then we'll kind of transition into life here at DPS.
Yeah, so I grew up in Dana Point, California, which is in Orange County.
Okay.
I was born and raised there. I was part of their Police Explorer program for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And retired as what you would call like a captain, so to speak, with the Explorer program. I started at Cal State Fullerton, my college education, and then transferred to Arizona State University, where I earned my degree in criminal justice.
Go Devils.
Yes. I met my wife there at Arizona State University, and later on, next month, we're expecting our first child. So that's
Congratulations.
Exciting. Thank
awesome.
you. Yeah.
That's exciting. Mm-hmm. What was your degree? What were you studying there to issue?
Criminal justice.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, I've been with the department for 8 years, started in dispatch. I hold a lot of fond memories there, made a lot of lifelong friends and memories. And
So you did this Explore program in California, got a criminal justice degree. What took you to becoming a dispatcher? Talk about that a little bit.
So I actually, when I was at Arizona State University, I was working out, trying to get fit and shape. And I actually, unfortunately, had a knee injury. And so I couldn't pursue this Warren side. But dispatch was the next closest thing to still being able to serve people. And that was my passion, is being able to help the public and the people.
Sure. Okay.
And I chose, DPS because my family's always been coming to Arizona. We have 2 rental homes, and my grandparents lived here. So we've been coming since I was, barely walking. And I just love the state, just the culture, the climate, the people, the food, the sports. And so I just fell in love with everything kind of Arizona. And so knowing that DPS was the state agency that represented the whole state, I thought, how cool would that be to serve the entire state? So
that's tremendous. So how did you make the transition from dispatch to wellness?
So I've actually been a part of the peer support system for over 5 years. And once I got involved in that, it just opened up a whole new world for me, where I went from helping to serve the public, which was tremendously rewarding, but now being able to help what I call my second family, DPS, to help all those troopers and the civilian staff was just truly, rewarding, and seeing all the benefits that peer support and EAP has to offer.
I want to dive into your experience as a dispatcher. I have some really good friends in this agency that are dispatchers, and I have sat in dispatch for long periods of time. Highway Patrol, our lieutenant colonel in Highway Patrol, he actually mandated all the supervisors go in and sit in dispatch. And I have a huge newfound respect for dispatchers. I went down to Tucson because I'm familiar with a lot of those folks down there, and I sat in there. I don't know how you guys and gals do it. I thought my job was hard. I think your training's even longer than ours.
Yeah, it's about a year-long training, from starting from a call taker all the way up through learning all the different districts.
And you, even though you may not always be seeing the troopers, you guys get to know each other, right? They know your voice. They know who you are. You talk to them on the phone. And so you build a relationship. So I kind of want to talk about that. And then also the professional staff side of the peer support, because we do talk a lot about what troopers experience out there, but man, the experiences that happen affect our professional staff, especially our dispatchers as well. So they need the support just as much. Talk about that. And, you know, you have these relationship with troopers and then they get into something. What is that like for you, having been a dispatcher, to hear your buddy on the other end of the radio be getting into something?
Well, I'm not going to lie, it's scary because we only are in front of that screen. That's all we can see. And we're just going off, you know, their tone of voice. And you can kind of tell by their tone of voice, okay, something's not right, or they definitely need backup ASAP, or you know, something's not going as well as it should be, depending on whatever call they're on. But we build tons of relationships, and, you know, we work these intense calls, and it's nice building those relationships because we only get, you know, that 911 call that comes in, but we never get how it ends. And so building those relationships, they get to tell us what happened beforehand or what happened afterwards. And so, and that bond, it just grows, and it's just really helpful. And
yeah. And those 911 calls that you guys take, talk about that a little bit, because I think that's where a lot of what you guys are experiencing comes in. These people they're frantic. This is the worst day of their life, right? And you guys are the first line that the first person they're talking to at the agency is our dispatchers. So.
And the dispatchers truly are, in my opinion, the first responders. You know, they're talking to them live while it's happening or right after the collision that they were just involved in. And yeah, they just went through something really traumatic, the worst day of their life, and they're angry. They're going through all the emotions: angry, sad, confused, lost. They don't know what to do next. And so by us, you know, helping them through that process, asking them those questions, it really helps them calm down. That's what is really cool to me in my dispatch experiences. You get somebody who's way up here, all animated and going through all the emotions. And then when you're done talking to them, they just say, "Oh, thank you so much for helping me through that." And getting the trooper on scene, "Thank you so much."
It's a lot to process.
It is. And it's a lot of multitasking too. The dispatchers do behind the scenes. You know, you just hear them talking on the phone, but they're typing away.
How many screens? I want to say I counted 7 or 8 at least at the dispatch console that I was sitting at last time I was up there. Is that about?
That's about right. There are, a lot of
7 or 8 screens. And some of you guys are working more than one district or more than one console, as we call it, at a time.
Yeah, to me, I tell a lot of the new trainees that would come in when I was a trainer, it's almost like riding a bike. It's going to be a little wobbly at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's just going to flow. But it does seem overwhelming at first, all the different screens, because we have, you know, like the ADOT camera on one, our Zetron radio channels on one, the different, you know, Spillman screens. And then when we're working on confirming a warrant, you know, that's on another screen, for example. But it's organized chaos is how I like to call it.
Yeah. But you guys do such a good job of helping bring people down, which for us is a huge benefit, because by the time we get there, hopefully some of those emotions have been processed in the 5, 10, however long it takes us to get there, minutes, you know, and so they're in a better place to talk to us and recall what happened, and it makes it easier when we get there.
Yeah, and what's also super helpful is all the resources that dispatch has now. We can, you know, ping exactly where they are on our Vesta map to see, you know, which freeway they're on, which direction they're traveling, or if it's a mobile call we're working, we can ping their cell phone and see, you know, their updated location. And so it's just all the resources that are up there. It's just really mind-blowing in my opinion. Like,
so what made you want to get into peer support?
What made me want to get into peer support was first and foremost was Maui, actually. When she was brought onto the department, that was one of the requirements, was to be a peer support member, because she would be a part of the peer support team. And so that got me introduced into that whole world, and seeing all the benefits that it has to offer for both the civilian staff and the sworn staff. Because at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we all go through those range of emotions and hard times and even good times. And so just being able to give back and see what that peer support team has to offer is just super cool.
So tell us a little bit about Maui. How old is she, and what is her purpose here? What is she doing?
So Maui, she is 5 years old, and she is a Bernedoodle, so a Bernese Mountain Dog and a Poodle mix. And she is our department's facility dog. So she is a certified service dog. We went through all the training and certificate for that, but she is there for our whole department. You know, all the way up in Flagstaff, down to Yuma, Sierra Vista, to Kingman. If anybody, you know, needs her services, you know, she's there, and she's a great positive impact. And if even something as little as just walking down the hallway, someone just says hi to pet her, it just brightens their day. And to me, that's just so cool. I think.
I know you brought it by our office, and man, I just I just love Maui.
Yeah.
Maui's great. I mean, and when I see you in the hallways with her, it's amazing. Everyone just gravitates to her. They're like, "Excuse me, sir, why wouldn't I get the Maui?"
Yeah. Yeah, she'll come up and she'll give you nudges too, won't she?
She will.
She wants you to pet her. I love the team that you guys are building in the Employee Assistance Program because, we spoke to Misty, who has that trooper experience, and then Renee, who has such an array and background of experience. She's been working in law enforcement for a very long time, and she's kind of been there and seen that, even though she maybe wasn't sworn. She has been on these scenes. She's seen it.
Right.
She's gone through it.
She's been in the trenches.
And now we have you coming on board and bringing that dispatch side. I kind of want to talk about you being a dispatcher, what and how you guys deal with the things that, how do you process the stuff that you're dealing with?
It's heavy stuff. I'm not going to lie. We go through all calls for the whole state, and there could be times where you're working a 963 and then the next call you get is a wrong way or something, or you just work rush hour traffic, back to back calls. You finally get a chance to catch your breath, and then a pursuit kicks out, for example. But the thing that's great with dispatch is the teamwork, because we can't do it by ourselves. And there's times where we just all help each other without even almost looking or communicating. We get in that work mode and we just all jump in and get the job done. And it's amazing work what they do behind the scenes, honestly. It's that calm voice, for the troopers, and getting all the different resources there as fast as they can. They, in my opinion, again, they're the heroes behind the scenes. They really are.
Yeah, and you guys go through those same array of emotions that a trooper on scene, the spikes of adrenaline, and then the dumps, and then the spikes of adrenaline. That takes a toll on your body and on your mind and everything.
Absolutely. And that was what was cool when Maui was brought on, is she would hang out in dispatch and she would walk the room, go up to the different dispatchers just to kind of say hi and check in on them. And we would even encourage the dispatchers after a tough call or on their break to, hey, go take Maui out for a walk, go release those endorphins, or go, cuddle or play with her, And she was, tremendously, beneficial for the dispatchers and helped them out. And she would just lie down next to them while they're, busy working whatever call they were. She would just lie down next to them and they would just reach down and pet her. And it was just that reassurance knowing that, hey, you're not alone. Maui's here,
And she goes with you everywhere.
She does, yeah.
She goes home with you?
She does. I'm her handler. And we've been to call outs, to hospitals, to scenes, to debriefings, to different stations. We've been all over the state. We've even been on Ranger, on Air One.
Really?
We've got a lot of cool experiences.
That's awesome. And the department actually provided you and her with a vehicle.
They have, yeah. It's an old police K-9 vehicle, and it has all the bells and whistles, and she's got her kennel in the back, and I put her bed back there, and she just lays down and just loves it in there. She just lies down. It's calm and cool.
Can she sense when someone might be in need of a hug or a greeting or anything like that?
She can, and that was part of her service dog training. Was she would gravitate towards people who are having a rough day or going through a stressful incident, like you were saying, those ups and downs, and she'll just gravitate towards them and kind of lean up against them, or she might do what's called like a touch. She might put her paw on their knee, or might even give them a hug, depending on what what's going on. But she definitely gravitates towards that individual.
That's tremendous.
It's amazing. What is it with animals that can just take stress away almost?
Absolutely.
I love animals. I like to spend time around horses, especially, and I know just riding them, I don't know if it's just you forget everything else and just concentrate on that, but there's something to be said for these type of animals, for horse therapy, and there's just something about animals that are they're so keen and aware of things.
And it just breaks that mentality, in my opinion, of, hey, I'm going through something rough, a stressful incident. Oh, there's a dog here. Oh, I want to pet the dog. And it triggers your brain to stop, going through those anxiety or those spikes in adrenaline.
Yeah.
Wow, this is tremendous.
So what do you hope like your experience and background in dispatch and having this dog can bring to the program and to the folks?
I just think just to continue to spread the good that she does, the positivity, even just those small interactions that we have with people when we're going around, the PSC or headquarters or the different stations, and people see, Maui, and they just light up, and it just brings so much positivity, to their day, because we have a tough job. We all do, whether it's sworn or civilian, no matter what your job title is. And that's what I just want to spread, just spread that positivity. And even up to those more remote, stations, up north and down south, just her getting to meet all the different people, because that's what she loves. That's her excitement, just going up to different people, saying hi, and getting to cuddle and play with them.
So is there a way that I could say, hey, can you bring Maui by every other Monday and just have her? Is there a way to like maybe almost schedule her to come by? Or
And what we actually already have is we have a monthly Maui visit with the crime lab, where once a month we have the crime lab techs. We come out here into the museum, and they all gather up and they get to play with Maui and pet her and just kind of unwind from their stressful day. And so absolutely, we can definitely schedule monthly Maui visits, or if there's a greater need, we can, make it more frequent if need be, or whatever the need is.
Yeah.
That she's here for our whole department.
Yeah. And how does she do out in public?
She does get excited because she loves meeting all new people and stuff, especially little kids. When we've been at like career fairs at high schools and stuff, the kids really love her and they gravitate towards her. But she loves it. She just loves going out and being about and meeting new people. And
yeah,
I think this is a tremendous service. Do you feel like, Brian, this is your purpose?
I think so, to be honest with you. I'm just so blessed and grateful to be in this position where I am, because that's what's rewarding to me, is to be able to give back to what I call my second family of DPS, and to be able to help them. And having Maui has just been such a positive impact, not only on my life, but to everybody within the department. And so, yeah, if we could grow like the K-9 program even more,
Right.
almost to, for example, if every district could almost have one, that would just be awesome.
Yeah. I think when you have a healthier and happier workforce, they're more productive. When you have this type of outlet for troopers and dispatchers, I think they just do their job a little bit better.
Right.
And so I love having these dogs here, and I don't know how much this program increasing. Are we trying to get more? What are we doing?
Yeah, so we have Brady over at the PSC. That's another support dog that we have.
And that's our public service center where our public goes to get, services, fingerprints and stuff, right?
Yeah. Tucson Opcom has a dog as well, Kylo. And then Actic has Leo as another support dog. So we are expanding, the K-9 program. And I just think that's so awesome to be able to, because they bring so much positivity. And now that we're getting to spread it out to the different areas, because we are a state agency, it's a big geographical area. And having them in all those different areas just really helps out.
Yeah. I know, having worked at Actic, some of the detectives and stuff there deal in some very heavy stuff. And so I know they've had a dog there, and what a benefit to them, because I can't imagine. I mean, I would walk into where these detectives work and just close my eyes. I wouldn't want to, see or, anything that they may be dealing with, because I didn't want to have to deal with it. But these dogs are such a benefit. So, Brian, we've talked about where and how people can get a hold of you guys. I know internally we have the portal. What message do you want to give to the agency, that our employees and maybe even the public, to let them know, like, hey, what we're doing and why we're trying to do it?
So what I would say, at least internally, would be to everybody that we're here for you as the wellness program. We're expanding it. And it's okay to not be okay. We're all human beings. We all go through life struggles, ups and downs. And we're here for you. We're, strictly confidential, program unbiased. We're just here to support you in whatever capacity that we can. And same to the public. Yeah, we're not a police agency. We're mostly the highway patrol, but we deal with the same stressors that police officers go through. So, and that's what Maui, for example, is here for, as well as our support program. Is we're here to support, our department in whatever capacity we can.
Yeah. It's important we take care of our people so that we can take care of the public that we're here to serve. Yeah, no, I love it. We appreciate you being here. I love seeing the way the EAP program is going, the way that it's expanding, the way that we're trying to take that stigma away. I think we talked about kind of off camera on some personal conversations that it's just going in such the right direction.
It is.
And we're taking that stigma away. And like you said, it's okay. You can't go through this career, work at a law enforcement agency for as long as people do and walk away okay. I just don't. I think we're just fooling ourselves if we say that. And some may handle things better and differently than others. Situations hit harder to some people than others based on your personal situation. Sure. So that may not affect you the same way it affects me, but it does affect us over time for sure.
And it's that compound effect, just those.
But the cumulative.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great way to
And
put it.
I'm just so appreciative that we have the full support from our command staff all the way down, that they're really pushing, the wellness program and trying to help out, the people, in our agency.
Yeah. And the better that we are, the better we're going to work, the longer we're going to work. And then the longevity after this career that we've talked about prior to is going to be better as well. So, Brian, thank you so much for being here. Yeah. You want to plug our museum again?
Museum, a bunch of relics in here, including me. I don't know, but no. Please, folks, if you want to come check out this Heritage Museum, it is a fascinating, great place. Lots of history here at DPS. Go to ahpdpsmuseum.org. Get all the information.
And that's for public. You can actually schedule public tours to come in. We have museum staff that are here all week long. So come down, come see us, come see all the things that are going on in the history of DPS. So,
and thank you for tuning in to the 7 Points Podcast.